Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, I'm Carrie, and we are one adventure at a time.
We've been living full-time in our self-converted van now since June of 2018.
Yes. Today we want to share with you our biggest regret in our entire van build.
This video is part 3 of a 4-part series where we talk about what adds comfort and flexibility to your van build. And heating is definitely one of those components.
Yes. So if you get cold like I do, then you're definitely going to need a heater in your van. So today we want to share with you our experiences, what heaters we've used, the pros and cons, and what we wish we would have done from the very beginning.
There is definitely one heater that we wish we would have started with. We started out with the little buddy heater, and we were in Wyoming, and it was December, and it was extremely cold outside.
And it got us by. It did work. It really heats up the van rather quickly, so there's no happy medium. It's pretty much all or nothing. The other huge problem we had, we had two really big problems. Firstly, Rudel kept brushing it with his tail.
Yeah, I was afraid he was going to get burnt, or maybe we were going to get burnt, or it was going to catch something nearby on fire.
Yeah, so we didn't have a lot of room to set it on the floor, and if we set it on the counter, it's too close to the ceiling, it got too hot. So it just was no good placement for it. The other huge problem we had was a ton of condensation.
Yeah, it was actually pooling water up above the cab, and it was running down the column next to the window. And it was a lot of water.
It was a lot of water.
Yeah. So I think this heater would work out for somebody that's trying to take the chill out of the air in the morning or at night, but I definitely wouldn't feel safe with it running all night. And even if you had to run it, it only has these 1-pound bottles that we had it hooked to, which is only good for about 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that did not work for us.
No, it didn't work. The other thing is with this type of heater is you have to ventilate. So ventilation is letting cold air in.
Yeah,
so
we're letting extremely cold air into the van just to be safe while we're using it.
Yeah, so it's kind of counterproductive. So that one quickly went out the window.
Yep.
Heater number 2 is the Wave 6, which we have right here, which we love.
Yeah, the Wave 6 heater has been working out really good. It's a radiant heat. We haven't had any problem with condensation, although we have still been venting. So we have a vent in the front window, and then we leave one of the fans open.
Yeah, it's still not vented outside, so you still have to vent with this heater. So again, we found ourselves in Arizona in December at the Grand Canyon, -4 degrees Fahrenheit, and we had to vent to use this heater. Yes. So at best, this heater only kept us...
Like, I think it got up to 56 degrees or so, close to that.
And we did run this heater all night. We felt safe doing that with proper ventilation. But having said that, running all night and only keeping it 54 degrees.
And we want the flexibility to be able to stay in the same area for maybe a week or two. And if we have to run this 24 hours a day, we're going to have to get our 20-pound propane bottle filled up every, what do you think, every week? Or
3 or 4 days, 5 days maybe?
Yeah, 5 days probably most.
You know, unless you carry a spare with you. So what I love about this heater is radiant heat. You can leave it on for an hour or 2 hours. It does not run you out of the van. It's super comfortable.
It has got us by for a year and a half, and we're gonna be using it for a while longer.
We're taking it to Montana for the winter. So it's a good heater, but again, if we had to do it all over again, we would not have chosen this heater.
So if you are in the build stages of your van and you're thinking about which heater to go to, definitely consider where you're going to be at for the winter and how much time you want to spend in the cold climate. If you're anything like us and you want to have the flexibility to spend a lot of time in a cold environment, then you may consider another heater.
Yeah, if you're just going to go for the weekend and you're just going to stay a few days, the Wave 6 or the Little Buddy will get you by. But if you want to go and you want to stay a couple of weeks or even a month, these are going to be kind of hard to get you by.
Yeah, you're going to have to carry a lot of propane with you, and you're going to have a sweater on and a hat, but it will get you by.
Okay, so what did we...
Okay, so if you're building your van, you're thinking about staying in cold weather, you like that kind of thing just like we do, I would totally recommend getting an externally vented heater that taps directly into your fuel tank.
Yes. Okay, I'll take it a step more. If you are even going to winter in the desert and you get cold easily, you're going to want an externally vented heater.
Yeah, so with the externally vented heater, it takes fresh air in from outside of your van, and all the exhaust is also going outside of your van. So technically, you don't have to do any kind of ventilation when you're using it.
Okay, so the downside to these heaters, and why we didn't do it when we were doing our van build, but we were trying to keep our costs down. And at that time, they were quite expensive.
Yeah.
And to have them installed was equally as expensive.
Yeah. They have started coming down in price, and there's a lot more options than there used to be. And I would definitely consider that if I were in the start of the van build.
Okay, so what are we talking about? We're talking about Webasto,
yeah, Webasto,
Espar, and even the Chinese version, knockoff version out there.
I do recommend, if you can, getting it installed directly to your fuel tank. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of the heaters are coming with a 10-liter tank, which is about this tall and about this wide, and will only last you about 2 or 3 days, which is great if you plan on being a mild climate. But if you want to go to cold climate and keep your van warm for a week at a time, you're definitely going to want to have it tapped directly into your fuel tank.
The nice thing about your fuel tank, and from everybody that we've talked to who has had one, is in cold country it uses about a gallon a day,
yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah, about a gallon a day.
And it has a feature on them to where your tank gets to a certain level, it will not keep siphoning your fuel out.
Yeah, the tube only sticks down in your tank so far, so it's not going to take all the fuel out of your tank and leave you stranded.
Yeah.
The other good thing about it is it's a nice dry heat, so you're not going to have any condensation. From the people I've talked to that have this, actually, they don't worry about insulating their windows anymore.
Yeah.
Their heat problem is gone.
They have it on the thermostat. It just comes on. It's like living in a tiny apartment. And that's why we're talking about this in our comfort and flexibility video.
Yeah.
Because you can live in a van without any of these things. It's totally doable. But if you want to be comfortable and flexible, then this is something you need to consider.
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you want to say anything about the Chinese heaters? Or
I mean, the Chinese heaters are going to be quite a bit cheaper. I don't know if I've seen one yet that taps directly into your fuel tank. If you do get the ones that tap directly into your fuel tank, if you feel uncomfortable doing the install, definitely pay a professional to install it, because it's pretty risky when you got any type of fuel vapors in the air.
So we have heard about the Chinese heaters that there's no warranty on that. So you're just going to have to weigh the pros and cons on that. Yeah. We know people who have them who absolutely love them. We have talked to professionals who say, I will install it, but I cannot guarantee how well it works.
Yeah. Or they won't guarantee any service on them either.
Yes.
So something to consider if you're thinking about going that route.
The other thing is, I think if we were to pick one, I think we would pick the Webasto.
Absolutely go with the Webasto.
And I think we would have it professionally installed.
Yeah. And we've done every install on our vehicle, so this would be like the first thing that we've ever had to pay for, and I think I would definitely pay for it.
It's a little scary when you're talking about your gas tank.
It is. I know the temperatures are getting warmer, summer's coming on fast, and you might not be thinking about a heater. We weren't either when we were doing our van build, and we made a big mistake. We wish we would have put more thought and effort into it.
Yes, and the biggest thing is we want you to be safe. And we want you to install them correctly. So we're going to link a video with Chrome from Vancity VanLife, and he interviewed Madison with Ray Outfitted. They live in Ontario, Canada, and they retrofit vans. Yeah,
they have a lot of information about heaters, and since they're professional installers, they know what they're talking about. I highly recommend you watch this video.
Yes, and she'll give you lots of things to think about on how to properly install a heater and what kind of heater you might need in your van if you're looking.
As always, we appreciate you watching our video, and we'll catch you next week. If you would like to support our channel, please consider becoming a patron, or check out our new merchandise at oneadventureatatime.com. We also have stickers available in our website store. Thank you for watching.